At this very moment, an aircraft soars over the Middle East with capabilities the United States cannot control. It's not Russian, it's not Chinese, it's American, but it no longer answers to the Pentagon. Israel has crossed a red line no ally dared to touch. It has reprogrammed the brain of the F-35. And what it has created within that stealth fuselage could decide the next war before the world even knows it has begun. This is the F-35I Adir. And what you're about to discover explains why Washington fears its own allies so much. The forbidden modification. At first glance, the F-35I Adir is identical to the American F-35A. Same stealth design, same Pratt & Whitney F. 135 engine, same astronomical cost of around $80 million per unit. Walk the tarmac at Nevatim Air Base, and you'll see the same angular silhouette, the same sharp edges designed to deflect radar waves, the same dark gray coating that absorbs electromagnetic radiation. But what Israel has done to its core breaks the most sacred rule of the program. No country is allowed to touch the central software of the world's most expensive aircraft. From its inception in the 1990s, the F-35 was designed as a closed ecosystem. Every line of code, every signal processing algorithm, every communication protocol answered directly to the Pentagon and Lockheed Martin. The philosophy was clear: total standardization. Every country purchasing the F-35 would receive the same machine, with the same capabilities, connected to the same global data network. This ensured absolute interoperability among allies, but also guaranteed something far more critical for Washington: absolute control. The Joint Strike Fighter program, which birthed the F-35, was conceived to create a unified air fleet under U.S. oversight. Every aircraft would transmit flight data, mission details, system parameters, and even technical failures to the central servers of the ALIS program, now renamed ODIN. Those servers, located in Texas, would process everything and send back software updates, security patches, and new tactical capabilities. It was a brilliant model of technological dependence. No country could operate its fleet without continuous approval and support from the United States. But Israel rejected those terms. The story begins in 2010, when Israel signed the initial agreement to acquire its first F-35s. In technical meetings, Israeli Air Force representatives made it clear from the start: they needed access to the core software. Not just to integrate local weapons systems, but to embed their own electronic intelligence, battle-tested algorithms developed over decades of real conflict, and countermeasures proven superior to any Western standard. The Pentagon resisted. For months, negotiations stalled. The U.S. argued that opening the F-35's source code to a foreign nation, even its closest Middle Eastern ally, posed an unacceptable risk of technological leakage. What if those algorithms fell into enemy hands? What if Israel, in its constant intelligence exchanges with non-Western powers, inadvertently exposed the secrets of the world's most advanced aircraft? Israel countered that without digital autonomy, the F-35 would be useless. The Middle Eastern combat environment is unlike any other. Iran deploys cutting-edge Russian air defense systems. Syria operates long-range radars linked to Iranian command centers. Hezbollah has demonstrated advanced electronic warfare capabilities. In that theater, a split-second delay in response could mean the loss of an aircraft and its pilot. Israel needed the Adir to adapt in real time, without waiting for approvals from Washington or updates that might arrive weeks or months later. After high-level diplomatic pressure, Washington relented, but only partially. Israel would gain access to certain layers of the mission software, but not the core operating system or the deeper sensor fusion algorithms. It was a fragile compromise. For Israel, it was enough to get started. By 2016, when the first F-35s landed at Nevatim, a select group of Israeli engineers was ready. They came from Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, Elbit Systems, and the Air Force's elite technology units. Some had worked on the electronic warfare systems of the F-16 Yansufa. Others had designed algorithms for Heron TP drones. All shared a mission: to transform the F-35 into a digital extension of Israel's military doctrine. What they did next was technically brilliant and diplomatically daring. They developed proprietary software modules that integrated with the F-35's system without altering the Lockheed Martin protected core. These were overlaid layers invisible to U.S. diagnostic protocols. They integrated Israel's National Electronic Warfare System, an evolution of the Spectra H that already protected the F-16 Dorang Sufa, now fused with cutting-edge artificial intelligence. The result was a hybrid, an F-35 with an Israeli soul. They named it Adir, Hebrew for mighty or supreme. And it was no exaggeration. The Adir could do things no other F-35 in the world could. The intelligence that anticipates. When an enemy radar emits a signal toward the F-35 Adir, something happens that no other fighter jet can replicate. The aircraft doesn't just detect the signal. It analyzes it, classifies it, identifies the exact radar model, calculates its location within meters, assesses the threat level, and generates a tailored electronic countermeasure. All in 0.3 seconds, before the pilot even sees the alert on their screen. No American F-35 can do this autonomously. The A, B, and C variants require the pilot to decide whether to activate countermeasures or rely on orders from an external command center. The Adir, by contrast, acts on digital instinct. Its electronic warfare system can respond without human permission, adjusting jamming frequencies, deploying electronic decoys, or vanishing from the enemy's spectrum through adaptive stealth techniques. But what truly worries the Pentagon isn't just the technical capability, it's what it represents. Israel has installed an internal filter, a digital firewall that decides which data is transmitted to the global F-35 network and which is retained. Every time an Adir takes off, it sends basic flight data to the ODIN system: altitude, speed, fuel consumption, mechanical status. But anything related to tactical intelligence, intercepted enemy signals, applied countermeasures, or classified mission data stays within Israel's national network. It's the only F-35 on the planet that doesn't fully answer to Washington, and that's the secret the U.S. cannot publicly reveal, because admitting it sets a precedent. If Israel can reprogram its fleet, what stops Japan, with its advanced tech industry, from doing the same? Or South Korea, which locally manufactures F-35 components? Or even Italy, which assembles aircraft at its Cameri plant? The monopoly on the most expensive military software in history would crumble, along with America's control over the global air network that has underpinned its military hegemony for decades. In 2024, something even more unsettling emerged. Sources close to Israel's Ministry of Defense leaked that the country was testing a tactical AI layer internally called Skybrain. This system represents a qualitative leap that even the U.S. Next Generation Air Dominance program has yet to operationalize. The AI analyzes real-time data from multiple sources: the aircraft's AN/APG, 81AESA radar, the EOTS infrared cameras, the DAS passive sensors distributed across the fuselage, and even intercepted enemy communications. But it doesn't just process information, it learns. Each mission feeds machine learning algorithms that identify enemy behavior patterns. If an Iranian air defense operator activates a radar for only 5 seconds before launching a missile, the system logs it. If a Syrian military convoy always moves along certain routes at dusk, the system memorizes it. If an S-300 system emits a specific frequency before firing, the system catalogs it. This information becomes operational knowledge that the Adir uses in its next mission. A veteran Israeli pilot, under strict anonymity, described flying the Adir with this system active. You don't fly it, you feel it. It's like having a co-pilot who never sleeps, never gets distracted, and never makes mistakes. It suggests maneuvers before you understand why, and when you do, you see it was right. The system can even adjust the aircraft's angle of attack or speed based on the pilot's heart rate, monitored in real time by biometric sensors in the helmet. If it detects elevated stress, it assumes more functions automatically. If the pilot is calm and focused, it hands back full control. This human-machine fusion is redefining what it means to be a fighter pilot. You're no longer just an operator. You're a commander issuing strategic orders to a platform that executes tactics on its own. Tell the aircraft, neutralize that anti-air battery without crossing the Syrian border. The system calculates the best approach, angle of attack, munition, and timing, all while keeping you invisible to enemy radars. Digital independence. In 2019, something went unnoticed by the public but sent shockwaves through the Pentagon. During a training exercise, all US F-35s in Europe were temporarily grounded due to a failure in the ALIS system. The central servers in Texas suffered a technical outage, preventing the aircraft from receiving flight authorization. It was a 6-hour digital blackout, but enough to render hundreds of cutting-edge fighters inoperable. That same day, Israel's F-35 Adirs flew without issue, because Israel had built its own tactical cloud. Instead of relying on US servers, the Adirs transmit data to underground processing centers in the Negev desert. There, in fortified facilities capable of withstanding nuclear attacks, high-security servers process every byte of data the fighters generate. The data is classified, analyzed, and turned into software updates sent back to the fleet in minutes. It's a completely closed war ecosystem. The US cannot see what happens inside. It cannot audit the software running on those aircraft. And most critically, it cannot remotely disable them. This absolute operational autonomy is something no other F-35 user possesses. When Australia, Norway, or Poland need to update their fighter software, they wait for Lockheed Martin and Pentagon approval. When they need to integrate a new weapon, they go through a certification process that can take years. When a component fails, they wait for parts shipped from the US, a process that can take weeks in a crisis. Israel waits for no one. Each flight hour of a US F-35A costs over $36,000, including maintenance, parts, and logistics. Israel has slashed that cost by nearly 40% through a self-sufficiency model that took years to develop, but now yields strategic dividends. Local companies like Israel Aerospace Industries, Elbit Systems, and Rafael Advanced Defense Systems produce and repair over 70% of the Adir's critical components. No waiting for parts from Texas or approvals from US engineers. Israeli fighters can return to the air in days, or, in emergencies, hours. A new predictive maintenance system marks another technological leap. Every sensor on the aircraft, hundreds of them, constantly sends data on vibration, temperature, hydraulic pressure, component wear, and system efficiency. This flows to a national diagnostic network where AI algorithms detect anomalous patterns. If a landing gear bearing shows irregular vibrations, the system alerts technicians before it fails. If the engine burns fuel less efficiently, it schedules preventive maintenance. No improvisation, no surprises, no delays. The F-35s are always ready. In a region where conflicts can ignite in hours, this constant operational readiness is raw power. While other nations calculate how many fighters are mission-ready at any given time, Israel knows its Adir fleet is always prepared. That certainty reshapes the strategic equation, giving military planners a reliable tool to build entire doctrines around. In 2025, Israel quietly introduced a concept called Blue Spine, a modular support architecture that allows entire software sections or physical components to be replaced in record time. While updating an F-35 with new capabilities can take weeks of testing and certification elsewhere, Israel has reduced this to hours. The aircraft connects to a diagnostic and update system that verifies all systems, uploads new software, runs automated tests, and certifies the fighter for flight. It's like an operating system reinstallation for a combat jet. This flexibility enables something revolutionary. Each Adir can transform based on the mission. For deep penetration strikes in enemy territory, it loads maximum stealth algorithms and aggressive countermeasures. For electronic warfare, it prioritizes passive sensors and jamming capabilities. For close air support, it optimizes data fusion with ground forces and precision weapon profiles. Total flexibility, total control. But this independence came at a hidden cost Israel willingly paid. Internal development costs soared. Thousands of engineers worked for years on projects never officially acknowledged. Rumors suggest some Adir modifications were funded through covert Ministry of Defense contracts, disguised as civilian research or dual-use technology development. While the total cost remains undisclosed, independent analysts estimate Israel has invested over $3 billion beyond the aircraft's purchase price. For Israel, this isn't expenditure, it's sovereignty. It's the difference between being a client dependent on a supplier's goodwill and being a power that controls its own military destiny. In a nation that has fought 6 existential wars since its founding, self-sufficiency isn't an option, it's a survival imperative. The connected weapon, the F-35. Adir hasn't just reinvented the aircraft, it's reinvented the weapon. When we think of a 5th-generation fighter's armament, we imagine GPS-guided bombs, long-range air-to-air missiles, or bunker-busting munitions. The Adir carries all of these, but it also carries something more. Munitions connected to a tactical decision network that calculates the optimal impact point in real time based on the desired effect. Here's a concrete example. An S-300 missile battery operates in Syrian territory with 6 launchers, a search radar, a tracking radar, a command center, and dispersed logistical vehicles across several square kilometers. A conventional attack would aim to destroy as many components as possible, requiring multiple strikes, multiple aircraft, and leaving a trail of evidence that could escalate the conflict diplomatically. The Adir's approach is different. Its sensors identify the battery's critical nodes, the tracking radar and command center. Without them, the launchers are useless. The system then selects the optimal weapon, not the largest bomb, but a controlled effect munition that can neutralize electronics without destroying entire infrastructure. The aircraft launches a guided bomb equipped with a directional electromagnetic pulse system. The bomb adjusts its trajectory in the final seconds based on updated data from the Adir and detonates at the precise altitude to maximize impact on enemy electronics. The result? The S-300 battery is disabled without a massive explosion, significant human casualties, or destruction of nearby civilian structures. Militarily, the objective is achieved. Politically, escalation is minimized. It's refined strategic control. These smart munitions aren't just advanced ballistics. They're decision nodes connected to the aircraft, other battlefield assets, reconnaissance satellites, and Israel's tactical cloud. The target is no longer a fixed GPS coordinate. It's a behavior pattern the munition adjusts to in flight. If the target moves, the bomb adapts. If a greater threat emerges, the system can redirect the weapon. If weather changes the optimal approach profile, the munition adjusts its trajectory. Precision is no longer measured in meters of circular error probable. It's measured in achieved effects. And that difference is monumental. Israel has also integrated a new generation of short-range weapons, including, according to open sources and industry leaks, small hypersonic missiles in development. These projectiles not only strike at speeds exceeding Mach 5, but can alter their approach profile mid-flight to evade interception systems. There's no full official confirmation, only estimates based on public contracts, registered patents, and official statements. But even the existence of this program shifts the adversary's strategic calculus. If a missile can penetrate a cutting-edge air defense system, that system loses credibility. And in modern warfare, the credibility of defense is as vital as the defense itself. The integration of aircraft sensors and smart munitions enables something previously theoretical: distributed cooperative attacks. Multiple Adirs can act as a unified fire system, each with a specific role. One stays at a safe distance, using its powerful radar to identify and designate targets. Another approaches in full stealth mode to launch weapons. A third, equipped with high-resolution cameras, confirms the strike and assesses damage in real time. A fourth, specialized in electronic warfare, keeps enemy radars blinded throughout the operation. This all unfolds in a decision chain that takes milliseconds. No voice communication between pilots, no orders transmitted over interceptable radio. Everything flows through encrypted data links and quantum protocols Israel has developed in secret. The enemy doesn't even know multiple aircraft are coordinating until it's too late. For air defense systems, this tactic is lethal. They must decide in seconds where to aim their limited missiles. Target the strongest radar signal? It might be a decoy. The closest threat? It could be a disposable drone. Wait to identify the real target? By then, the strike has landed. Every wrong decision exposes the battery's position, leaving it vulnerable to a second attack before it can relocate. Israel's tactical doctrine has perfected this technique over years of real operations over Syria. The lesson is simple but brutal. Force the enemy to emit radar signals, detect those emissions, and punish them before they can react. With the Adir, this cycle has accelerated to the point where the enemy's window of opportunity is virtually zero. But there's something subtler, perhaps more powerful. The Adir's electronic countermeasures don't just block enemy signals, they manipulate them. They can introduce artificial delays in critical data, alter the apparent angle of an incoming threat, insert false targets on enemy operators' screens, or even cause an enemy air-to-air missile to lose its target. In simple terms, industrial-scale deception. And a deceived enemy is a paralyzed enemy, leaving their defenses exposed during the critical seconds the Adir turns into lethal opportunities. The platform also supports controlled effect munitions that neutralize electronics without conventional detonation. These include directed electromagnetic pulses, high-powered microwave charges, or precision explosives that disable radars and communication links without destroying entire physical structures. The strategic goal is to turn the battlefield into a sensorless desert. When that happens, the Adir's stealth advantage multiplies exponentially as the enemy no longer has the eyes or ears to detect, track, or respond. In terms of real tactical impact, this completely redefines the role of the modern fighter jet. It's no longer just air superiority through air-to-air combat or strategic strikes through bombing. It's total dominance of the decision environment. The Adir can break the enemy's command chain, neutralize control centers, block all communications, blind radars, and in minutes, leave entire air defense batteries technically operational but practically paralyzed. Israel's operational doctrine has begun explicitly incorporating this under a concept called non-lethal opening phase. The idea is to use the Adir's full network to blind, confuse, and isolate the enemy before any kinetic projectile lands. If this phase works as designed, the conflict can be resolved with minimal material and human damage. The enemy is neutralized without the massive destruction that generates international political pressure. If the phase doesn't fully succeed, a second phase activates, surgical kinetic strikes that destroy only what's absolutely necessary to neutralize the threat. The ability to choose between these phases in real time, based on the evolving tactical situation, makes this technology a genuinely strategic tool. It's not just firepower, it's decision power. And in modern warfare, controlling the enemy's decisions controls the outcome, the future that's already here. The Middle Eastern sky is no longer the same. For decades, air power was a simple matter of numbers. How many aircraft you have, how many bombs you can drop, how many flight hours your pilots can sustain. Today, the number of fighters matters less. What matters is who can think faster. And in that arena, the F-35I Adir has taken a lead that may be unmatchable in the short term. What began in 2016 as a discrete modification has become Israel's greatest military technological leap since the Iron Dome's development in the early 2000s. An aircraft that not only flies with advanced stealth but thinks. That not only fights with precision weapons but strategically decides how, when, and where to apply force for specific political and military effects. The Adir has become the invisible shadow that can decide a war's outcome without firing a single shot. Its true power lies not in the missiles under its wings, but in the invisible seconds where its artificial intelligence anticipates enemy moves, generates electronic deceptions, and destroys the adversary's decision-making capacity before they even know they're under attack. In this historic moment, the sky no longer belongs to those with the most aircraft. It belongs to those who control the data, algorithms, and intelligence flowing within those aircraft. But beyond all the impressive technology, the real secret of the F-35I Adir is its radical independence. Israel has achieved something no military analyst thought possible a decade ago. Complete mastery over a weapons system that even the United States, its creator, cannot fully control. It took a machine designed for permanent technological dependence and turned it into a fully sovereign weapon. That doesn't just redefine conventional military power, it redefines 21st century geopolitics. Every Adir flight over hostile territory carries a silent but unmistakable message to friends and foes alike. Israel needs no one's permission to defend itself. It needs no external authorization to act. It needs no coordination with Washington to make strategic decisions about its survival. That absolute autonomy is more valuable than any specific aircraft technology. It's the difference between being a conditioned ally, waiting for a foreign green light, and an autonomous actor deciding its own fate. When a nation of 9 million people can develop, modify, and operate the world's most advanced military AI without relying on superpowers, something fundamental has shifted in the global balance of power. Israel is no longer just a country buying advanced weapons. It's a power reinventing them to meet its needs, defining the future of warfare in the process. And here's the paradox keeping Pentagon strategists awake at night. If Israel's F-35I outperforms the American F-35A in real operational capabilities, who truly controls Western air supremacy? For 70 years, the answer was obvious: the United States. Today, that answer is less clear. The Adir has shown that technological dominance is no longer just about who builds the most advanced hardware, but who controls the software, algorithms, and decision architecture that bring it to life. The Adir breaks the historical logic that has defined air power since World War II. It's the first unmistakable sign of a new era, the era of nations designing their own war algorithms. Physical hardware, engines, fuselages, hydraulics, is converging towards similar global standards. All fifth-generation fighters have stealth, supercruise, sensor fusion, but the software interpreting those sensors, making tactical decisions, and coordinating complex attacks, that software remains unique. And in that specific field, Israel has crossed a frontier no one else dared approach. What makes the Adir truly revolutionary isn't its ability to fly undetected. It's its ability to fly uncontrolled. The first fifth-generation fighter that answers only to the nation operating it, not the one that built it. This total mission software independence, complete tactical decision autonomy, and absolute freedom to integrate proprietary systems without external approval represent the birth of a new air power model, one where technological sovereignty matters more than numerical superiority. Consider the concrete strategic implications. Right now, as these words are spoken, an Adir could be patrolling the eastern Mediterranean, Lebanese airspace, or beyond. The pilots operating it rely on a machine that thinks, self-repairs through predictive maintenance, and constantly evolves with software updates only Israel controls. If something fails technically, they don't call Lockheed Martin in Fort Worth, Texas. They call the support base in Beersheba, in the heart of Israel's technological desert, where engineers monitor every flight parameter as if it were a critical space mission. For those technicians, the Adir isn't just a fighter jet. It's a digital extension of the entire nation. Every line of code running in its computers represents years of real combat experience. Every AI algorithm is trained on data from actual threats Israel has faced for decades. Every electronic countermeasure has been tested against authentic enemy systems, not just simulations. That real-world experience advantage is impossible to replicate in a lab. And the United States knows it. It tolerates it because Israel remains its most reliable ally in the world's most volatile region. But it also fears it, because every Adir technological advance is living proof that the US monopoly on cutting-edge military technology is eroding. Not to adversaries like China or Russia, but to its closest ally. If Israel can do this with the F-35, what stops Japan with its advanced electronics industry from doing the same? Or South Korea, already building fourth-generation fighters locally? Or Australia, with ambitions to become a regional military power? The precedent is set, and there's no going back. The centralized control model the Pentagon envisioned for the F-35, a global network of fighters all connected to US servers, dependent on Washington-approved updates, operating under NATO-coordinated doctrines, that model is definitively broken. Israel proved it's possible to take that system and make it fully independent. And once something is proven possible, others will try to replicate it. Now comes the question defining the immediate future. What will the United States do? Will it try to regain lost control by imposing stricter technological restrictions on future F-35 sales? Or will it accept that its most advanced allies will demand technological autonomy as a condition for major military purchases? Neither option is politically easy. The first risks alienating key allies. The second accepts the fragmentation of a global military network that took decades and trillions of dollars to build. No one in Washington talks about this openly, but the tension is palpable in every high-level meeting about the F-35 program. Every classified report crossing the Pentagon about the Adir's operational capabilities causes unease, because Israel isn't violating any formal agreement. It's not selling sensitive technology to third parties. It's simply doing what every sovereign nation aspires to do: fully control its own defense tools. The F-35I Adir has tested not just the military balance in the Middle East, but the entire hierarchy of Western technological power. It's raised an uncomfortable question no one wants to answer aloud. If military hardware converges towards similar global standards, what determines true strategic advantage? The answer is software, artificial intelligence, decision algorithms. And those are precisely the areas where entry barriers are lower and innovation can happen faster. Israel, with a population smaller than many large cities, has shown it can compete with and even surpass superpowers in these fields. Not by having more resources, but by having more urgency. Every Israeli technological innovation is driven by a real existential need. This isn't academic research, it's national survival. And that motivation generates an innovation speed that the bureaucratic processes of great powers simply cannot match. While the diplomatic world debates treaties, sanctions, and alliances, Israeli pilots fly their Adirs on real missions. They don't seek international recognition or innovation awards. They seek measurable results. Threats neutralized, attacks prevented, territory defended. And they know each mission is quietly redefining the map of what's possible in modern air combat. In a future that's no longer distant, the sky will be a chessboard where only those who adapt instantly will survive. The slow will be detected and shot down. The dependent will wait for authorizations that arrive too late. The innovators will decide the moment, place, and rules of engagement. In that future game, the F-35I Adir is the first piece to change color without anyone able to stop it. The Adir's true secret isn't a specific physical component or missile. It's a simple but revolutionary idea: absolute technological freedom. The idea that a nation can and must fully control the tools defining its survival. An idea so powerful that the United States cannot openly reveal it without admitting its centralized control model has fundamental cracks. Because revealing those cracks would invite more allies to exploit them. And that would mean the end of a technological monopoly that has sustained US military hegemony for over half a century. So, when you hear news about the F-35, see statistics about how many countries have bought it, or read analyses of its technical capabilities, remember this: there's a version of that aircraft that no longer belongs to the Pentagon. A version that answers to only one flag. And that aircraft, at this very moment, might be flying over a real conflict with the ability to decide its outcome without anyone outside Israel knowing exactly how it did it, or what systems it used. That's the truth the United States doesn't want to reveal. That truth, invisible but omnipresent, is in the air right now. And it's changing the future of warfare faster than any international treaty or conventional military doctrine can keep up. The Adir's real power isn't in its software autonomy, though that's revolutionary. It's not in its tactical AI, though that changes the rules of combat. It's not in its independent logistics, though that ensures constant readiness. It's not even in its connected weaponry, though that multiplies its effectiveness. The Adir's true power lies in how all these elements combine to achieve something deeper: the ability to dominate the enemy's entire decision environment. It can detect before being detected, confuse before being tracked, strike before being attacked, and disappear before being pursued. In modern warfare, that sequence of cumulative advantages isn't just tactical superiority, it's operational invincibility. And when an adversary realizes fighting you is futile because every move plays into your hands, they stop trying. That's the true victory, the one achieved without fighting because the enemy has already calculated they'd lose. If you've made it this far in this analysis, you're part of a minority that truly understands what's happening behind superficial headlines and official press releases. Most read that Israel has F-35s. Some know those aircraft have modifications. But very few grasp that those modifications represent a complete paradigm shift in how global military power is distributed in the 21st century. This kind of in-depth analysis is exactly why this channel exists. To reveal the secrets of modern air power that mainstream media doesn't explain. To showcase the technology reshaping the global balance while most don't even know it exists. To analyze systems no one else dares to explain at this level of detail because doing so requires understanding both the technology and the geopolitics surrounding it. And what's coming next is even more revealing. Future analyses will show you the 6th-generation fighter that could eventually replace even the F-35I. the Israeli weapons systems the US is quietly trying to copy for its own programs. The invisible battle already underway for control of the future sky, where autonomous drones, distributed AI, and hypersonic weapons will redefine everything we thought we knew about air combat. If you don't want to miss those analyses, subscribe now. Because what's at stake isn't just military technology, it's the future of power itself. And that future is being decided right now, 30,000 feet above the Middle East, piloted by men and women who entrust their lives to algorithms no one outside Israel fully understands. The power no longer lies with whoever builds the aircraft. It lies with whoever dares to reprogram it. And that, today and for the foreseeable future, is the true secret of Israel's F-35. A secret just revealed.